Good morning, happy hump day, and oh look, it's raining again. Apparently, we get maybe 4 hours of sunshine and then rain. On the one hand, I guess I don't need to wash my car. So, let's get to my high act of kindness. I would say that my low... Actually, no, why did I say it's raining again? Because, I'll be honest, nothing bad truly happened yesterday. My high would be... I got to see my nephews yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I got to see them, and it was a lot of fun. And my act of kindness was... Let's see, what did I do? I emptied the dehumidifier for my dad. I took out the garbage. And I also emptied the dishwasher off for my folks. So, yeah. Your boy... Oh, I'd say your boy got busy, but it's not like it was time-consuming or that hard. Honestly, considering I do it like that late in the afternoon, it's really more to me like not being lazy when it comes to me, getting it done. So, in my video yesterday about growing up playing Sonic the Hedgehog games, someone on my YouTube commented that I should talk about A Link to the Past. I think at this point I should probably lay down a few ground rules for this mini-series that I'm doing. First, when I talk about, a video game, I mean, the franchise as a whole. So, if and when I talk about The Legend of Zelda, I'm not just going to talk about Link to the Past. I'm going to be talking about pretty much any and all of the major Zelda games that I can think of. Which brings me to another rule I have. I know that there's a lot of games out there that I know about that I didn't play. So keep in mind, I'll mention if I never played that game or even that series for that matter. However, I'll also mention that said series has had a great impact on not just video games, but in a lot of ways even pop culture. Again, more like the Legend of Zelda games. Of course, those games I'll save for another day. Well, considering that we're still in the slow part of the week and things won't pick up until tonight when the semifinals of The Masked Singer are on, how about we get into another video game series I grew up with? When I talked about Sonic yesterday, why not talk about, the ultimate rival, Super Mario? Now, my brother and I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up. We didn't. Our first introduction to anything Nintendo related was straight up the Super Nintendo. I mean, I do believe there was a Mario game on there, and I know about some of the music, of course. And my brother did play some of the games on the Super Nintendo. So, yeah. Of course I know about it. However, my love for the character of Super Mario didn't really start picking up until the Nintendo 64 era. When, to this day, I'm pretty sure, any top 10 N64 games you see, usually those lists will include Super Mario 64, they'll include Mario Kart, more often than not they'll include Mario Party, and of course they'll obviously include Super Smash Bros. All of which Mario are in. I mean, 3 of those game series, of course Mario would be in there. Mario's name is literally in the title of those games. And I fell in love with the character so much that not once, but twice in my entire life, I've actually gone dressed as Super Mario for Halloween. It's true. I have. What else? Well, let's talk about the games themselves. Well, I should talk about the movie that came out in the 90s. Yeah, I know it's not very good. In fact, I know for a fact I have seen it, but it's been so long, I barely have any kind of opinion on it whatsoever. From what I hear, yeah, it's garbage, but it's hot garbage. Like, it's so good that it's bad, kind of. I mean, I hear it's got a cult following. And from what I've heard, like, of all the bad things that happened in that movie, that make the movie bad, the one thing everyone agrees on that was good was the late Bob Hoskins as Super Mario and John Leguizamo as Luigi. Like, I haven't heard anything bad about them. So, that's good. I mean, listen, you know, it's called the Super Mario Brothers. I would think that your main character should be engaging. And the fact I haven't heard anything bad about their performances should say that maybe they were okay. Maybe they were the shining light of that movie. But let's talk about the main games. Like, again, the Nintendo 64, that's when I really started playing video games. And then I went back to Super Nintendo for a little bit because there's another game series I also fell in love with at that time. But I'll get to that the next time we do this. So, I mean, it's Super Mario. What do you want? I mean, the characters in that series are iconic. Mario, Luigi, Princess Toadstool, or Peach if you prefer. Actually, come to think of it, wouldn't Peach's full name be Peach Toadstool? Anyway, Toad, Toadette, Bowser, of course. Arguably the most powerful villain in the Nintendo universe. Although I would think there's another. I can think of one Nintendo character who's evil who would probably take that crown. In fact, I have seen him take that crown before. Quite literally in polls and quite literally in the games. But I'll get to that later. Let's see. So, watching, how can I forget? Yoshi! Yoshi! I love Yoshi. I gotta give a shout to Nintendo Capri Sun because if there's any soul on God's green earth who loves Yoshis, it's Nintendo Capri Sun. Straight up. I mean, it's Yoshi's, man. He's a big green dinosaur that eats everything, like with his tongue or whatever. Like, and then like when he's running and he's like trying to fly, especially in Super Smash, like, I love that. I love that. You know what? Nintendo Capri Sun, every time I talk about Yoshi, like, so happy. You know what? I agree. I wholly agree. Now, when it comes to, obviously, the Mario games that we played with, let's start with the main one that everyone would most associate with. You know, I mean, eventually, I think they did re-release the original Super Mario game on Nintendo 64. My brother played that, and you know, my brother played Mario 64, of course, which I remember, like, my brother was just trying to beat the game. He wasn't trying to 100% it. Like, getting, like, 70 stars, and, like, getting those 70 stars was just, I'm not even going to say it. This was a bitch and a half for him. It was. But after he did it, you know, let's try getting 120 stars, which also turned out to be, I mean, listen, thanks to, like, the official player's guide, the ending's spoiled. Like, you go to the top of the castle via cannon, talk to Yoshi, and it gives you 100 lives. So you can play for hours and hours and hours. Which is a neat idea. In fact, many years later, when they re-released Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo DS, I actually beat that game. And I got 150 stars, making the DS version the true definitive version of that game. So, actually, I did it twice. I did it when it first came out, and I did it like, gosh, at least like 6 or 7 years later. And actually, I put in so much work in one day playing Super Mario 64 DS that I think I got like 137 stars in like one day. And Like, I waited like a week or so before I went back to it, and then like, yeah, you know what, I waited long enough, I'll finish it. Like, seriously, in my old game, there's like a third save file I haven't even touched. So, I mean, listen, I've already done it twice, why would I ever want to do it 3 times? So, you know, I got bragging rights there. And actually, before I continue, the DS version brought Wario. Fun fact about both Wario and Waluigi, Shigeru Miyamoto didn't create Wario or Waluigi. He didn't. But they were just so popular that they were added in more Mario games as time went on. I mean, you're not going to see him in Super Mario Sunshine, which, I believe my brother also got 120 Shine Sprites in Mario Sunshine. Although, I gotta give props on Some Call Me Johnny for this one, as well as Chucker Conroy, for pretty much explaining like the overall opinion everyone should have when getting all 120 Shine Sprites in Mario Sunshine. You do all that and all you get is like a commemorative photo of like all the characters. Like, not even they're waving. That's it. I mean, at least with Mario 64, getting like 100 lives, you know, that's something. Because it actually offers you free play, and it's awesome. Just a commemorative photo, not so much. From this point on, though, obviously the next games that would come in that sort of series would be the Mario Galaxy games. My brother really only played Super Mario Galaxy. I didn't really have much interest in that game. I mean, if I ever play anything, I mean, I haven't talked about Mario Kart yet, dude. Like, Mario Kart 64, I mean, obviously there's Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, which my brother played. But then, like, Mario Kart 64, that was my thing, too. In fact, people say that, hands down, it's the best Mario Kart game of the series. And considering, like, Mario Kart 8, which is on the Switch right now, probably has, like, gosh, like 100 tracks or something like that. And yet, Mario 64 is still considered the best. I mean, actually, there's Mario Kart 64 tracks. All the Mario Kart 64 tracks, I believe, are on Mario Kart 8. And people still think Mario Kart 64 is the best. I mean, I guess what made Mario Kart 64 so incredibly impactful was just due to its simplicity. I mean, it's a car racing game. But the music's iconic. The characters and the taunts in that game are iconic. I mean, what's to say? It's just fun. Speaking of fun, this is where things are going to get a little controversial. My brother and I loved Mario Party. We did. Like, I know people say, like, oh, that's the game that ruins friendships. Dude, no. Mario Party does not ruin friendships. It's people who are sore losers that ruin friendships. Okay? Because I can tell you right now, my brother and I and any of our friends, we love playing Mario Party. We do. In fact, funny story, when I first started playing video games, Mario Party 2 was the first one I really played the most, even though I would definitely say 3 is better. I'll get to that in a minute. And when my brother had friends over, they played Mario Party, and my brother always won. Like, no one had ever beaten my brother. And, you know, I found myself, like, playing all the mini games. Like, I never played any of the boards, because I was too afraid to do that. So I, like, practiced all the mini games. I got really good at that. And so my brother offered that we play the hardest board in Mario Party 2, which is, you know, Bowser Land. And I won. I actually beat my brother. And it's even funnier when you hear what the overall final score was. My brother's score, 4 stars and 94 coins. My score, 4 stars and 95 coins. I beat my brother by 1 coin. Like, dude. I mean, I never beat my brother again, but that's okay. I just needed 1, and I got it. And it was awesome, man. Oh, gosh. Paper Mario games, I love watching the Paper. Seriously, like, I mean, listen, I'm a fan of Cherry Conner. I've seen Cherry Conner do the Paper Mario games. I saw the Brain Scratch commentaries do the Paper Mario games too. Like, seriously, I can make this video, like, over an hour long if I really wanted to. Like, I love the character of Mario so much. He is my main in Super Smash Bros. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I did have a main, I would say it's Mario. Because he's the one I gravitate towards to the most. I mean, again, I don't really have a main, per se. I like playing with all the characters, because, you know, it's fun. But if I had a main, or a favorite character, I'd say it's Mario. Like, seriously, they should make Super Smash Bros. Into a show. If they did, hands down, Mario would be the unquestioned leader. He would. Or like some sort of or something along those lines, man. I want to see a show. Like, don't make a movie, make a show. And speaking of movies, I guess we should talk about the movie that came out last year in 2023. I never saw it. Unfortunately, the critics over Rotten Tomatoes didn't care for it, and I think I know why that is. I did a video about this last year. I think the reason why critics didn't really like the Super Mario movie that came out last year was because of Illumination. Remember, this is the company known for doing the Minions movies. And they jam it down your throat all the time. So, they pretty much thought the Mario Brothers movie was going to be exactly like the Minions, which, from what I hear, obviously it's not. But tell that to the critics who think so. Seriously, I think the bad score on Rotten Tomatoes that it has, which it doesn't really deserve, by the way, even from what I've heard, like, that's from critics who assume too much. I'm sure the movie's, like, 59% Rotten Tomatoes, which is literally 1 point away from being fresh. Like, that's not fair. That is not remotely fair. Especially when, on paper, the Mario movie literally did everything right. For starters, they made it animated. Stop making video game movies in live action. It worked for something like the original Mortal Kombat movie because they were real people. It just didn't work because it was rated PG when it should have been rated R. Although the one that came out in like 2019, that was supposed to be really good. My point is, like, I'm glad that there's going to be a sequel to that movie. I'm really glad it is. And I'm really glad that it grossed well at the box office. Hopefully the critics will remove their heads out of their collective asses and give the Mario movie a better score over time. Not just this one, but the next one too. I mean, to give you an example just how much of an impact Mario's had on pop culture. Many years ago, Nintendo Power did like a poll of like their most popular characters, like video game characters, whatever. Mario stood tall at number 1. What more do I have to say? And when it came to villains, Bowser stood tall at number 2. Who was number 1? Well, that's a video for another day. But honestly, I'm really glad that even after like 30 years roughly, Mario is arguably considered the GOAT of like video game characters. And I think it's because his character design, it's simple, it's colorful, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's exactly what it is. A slightly overweight plumber who, you know, fights a giant fire-breathing turtle lizard and his army to save a princess. If that sounds like you should take that seriously, this isn't the series for you. But that's just me. I love Mario. I always have, always will. He's one of the main reasons why, not just me, but a lot of people love video games. He's arguably the single video game character I would think of the most in any given time. And again, if Super Smash Bros. Ever came out with a show and there was a leader, they'd probably give it to Mario. Although then again, I could definitely see them going like, there is no leader, but sort of like a Knights of the Round Table type thing. I don't know, but that's a video for another day. I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on social media. As always, I'm doing a home news video for all of you guys who are watching the show for today. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. It's hump day. Happy hump day, everyone. And remember, you guys want to talk to me, what you're doing, take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.